My beloved friends, I don't come to you today with ordinary words. I come with a divine proclamation that carries the weight of heaven. Hear me clearly. God is about to release a financial miracle over your life, and there is not one demon in hell, not one circumstance on earth that can block what the Almighty has already decreed. This is not hype. This is not motivation. This is a moment of spiritual alignment where heaven touches earth, and your faith opens a door that no man can shut. I'm not appealing to your logic right now. I'm not offering a step-by-step financial plan or some clever philosophy. No, I am speaking directly to your spirit, to the deepest part of you that knows there is more, that believes even in silence, that hopes even when the bills are due and the lights are dim. I am here to tell you that the same God who split the sea for Moses, who rained down manna from the sky, who multiplied 5 loaves into fish to feed a multitude, he is still seated on the throne. And he has not forgotten you. He's not waiting for your bank account to impress him. He's waiting for your faith to rise. You might feel empty right now emotionally, mentally, financially. You might be overwhelmed by pressure, crushed under debt, wearied by worry. Collectors are calling, doors are closing, and it may feel like you've hit a wall. But listen to me, God sees it all. He has counted your sleepless nights, gathered your every tear, and remembered your every prayer. And when God says it's time, it doesn't matter who said no, he will make a way. You are not abandoned. You are not cursed. You are positioned for a divine reversal. The word of God says, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. That's not just poetic language, it's a sacred covenant. It's a heavenly transaction. When God provides, he doesn't just cover the need, he overwhelms the lack. He doesn't give like the world gives with stress and strings attached. No, he gives peace that passes understanding, overflow that brings joy, and favor that breaks chains. Let's be clear, I'm not talking about prosperity for pride. I'm speaking about provision for purpose. You weren't made to live beneath your calling. You weren't created to survive in scarcity. You are a child of the Most High. Royalty doesn't beg. Royalty walks with confidence, and your Father is the King of all kings. He doesn't leave his heirs to fend for themselves. He supplies. He sustains. He surprises. The enemy wants you to believe this lack is your final chapter, that what you see right now is all there will ever be. But the truth is, your current struggle is just a setup for your breakthrough. The dry ground you're standing on, it's about to become a wellspring, that season of emptiness. It's about to be filled to overflow. Remember the widow in the King's 4. All she had was a tiny jar of oil and a heart full of desperation. Her husband was gone. Creditors were at her door. But she brought what she had to the prophet, and that tiny jar became the doorway to a miracle. He told her, go gather vessels, not just a few. She obeyed, she believed, and as she poured, God multiplied. Not a single jar remained empty. Her debt was erased. Her household was saved. Her story changed forever. That same God, the one who calls himself Jehovah Jireh, is moving in your life right now. And listen closely, he is not moved by economic forecasts. He is not limited by inflation. He doesn't check the stock market before blessing his children. His resources are limitless. His storehouses never run dry. He doesn't need permission to bless you. He only needs your trust. The gold is his. The silver is his. Every open door, every divine connection, every unexpected provision is already in his hand. When God speaks release, no power in hell can hold back what is coming. The same God who used ravens to feed Elijah, who brought water from a barren rock, who filled the disciples' nets to the point of breaking, he is about to overflow your life with supernatural provision. But let this sink into your heart. This miracle is not about how deserving you are, it's about how faithful he is. Grace doesn't check your resume, it looks for your surrender. This miracle, it's not something you earn with effort. It's not a transaction. It's a divine exchange built on one thing: faith, not status, not perfection, not background, just faith. Faith is the currency of heaven. It is the invisible key that unlocks supernatural doors. It's the unseen force that causes chains to break and blessings to flow. It was faith that made the blind see, faith that stopped Jesus in his tracks when the woman with the issue of blood touched his robe. And it will be faith that causes your financial walls to fall even now. I speak to every person who has sown in tears. You've given when it didn't make sense. You tithed when the numbers didn't add up. You planted seeds into dry ground, trusting God would bring the rain. And I'm here to tell you, the soil has shifted. Your seed did not die in the dirt, it was planted, not buried. The rain is coming, the harvest is near, and when it comes, it won't just meet the need, it will exceed the expectation. You may feel invisible, forgotten, or behind. But heaven keeps record in secret what man never sees in public. The God who sees what is done in the quiet will reward you openly. Every generous gift, every anonymous sacrifice, every offering wrapped in faith, it's all coming back. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. You may be in a season that doesn't make sense. It might feel like all you're giving, all you're trusting, hasn't moved anything. But understand this, faith doesn't walk by sight. Faith walks by trust, by surrender, by obedience when it's hardest. And in the unseen realm, God is moving pieces, aligning people, rearranging plans. The delay is not denial, it's divine timing. Right now, angels are being released, assignments are being activated, divine appointments are being scheduled. You don't need everyone to say yes, you just need God to open the right door. He doesn't need majority approval to bless you. He doesn't consult your past before releasing your future. When He says it's your time, nothing can hold it back. And friend, for some of you, this has been a season of fire. You've been tested, refined. Everything you leaned on has been stripped away. People you trusted have disappeared. The ground you stood on crumbled, and you've wondered, God, what's left? But just like Job, who sat in the ashes of loss, you're about to rise in double portion. God allows the stripping when He plans to restore more than you lost. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your comeback. This isn't the closing chapter. This is the plot twist, what the enemy tried to use to break you. God is turning into the very platform that will bless you. You're not too late. You haven't missed it. Your mistake didn't cancel your miracle. God is still writing. He is still moving. He is still multiplying. He doesn't blink at overdraft notices. He's not flustered by debt. Heaven's economy doesn't follow earthly trends. The stock market doesn't affect the storehouses of heaven. And your worth is not measured by a credit score, it's measured by a cross. And the God who walked on water is stepping into your storm. The God who brought water from a rock is pouring provision into your life. He is El Shaddai, the God of more than enough, not barely enough, not just enough, more than enough. Overflowing, abundant. UNCONTAI and ABLE. But this miracle is not just for your comfort, it's for your calling. It's not just to free you, it's to fund the future. Ministries are waiting for what you carry. Children are waiting for your obedience. Destinies are tied to your yes. You were never meant to be a reservoir. You were always called to be a river. So prepare your heart, position your faith, because before the floodgates open, God will test your posture. Before the increase comes, He checks your intention. Before God releases the blessing, He first examines the heart. Will you love the gift more than the giver? Will you praise the provision but forget the provider? This is a test not of your capacity but of your character. Some of you are not being punished. You are being prepared. The waiting season is not a delay. It's divine protection. God is refining your motives, humbling your pride, and anchoring your soul so that when the wealth comes, it won't become your idol. He's building in you a spiritual foundation stronger than money. He's teaching you that life does not come from the next deposit, the next deal, or the next paycheck, but from every word that proceeds from His mouth. You are being trained to hunger for righteousness, not just revenue, because when you seek first the kingdom and His righteousness, when you put Him at the center of your plans, your business, your investments, all these things will be added to you, not withheld, not rationed, added, multiplied, increased. God is not in the business of subtraction. He is the God of overflow. And when you honor Him with your first fruits, when you put Him before the deal closes, before the job offer comes, before the financial breakthrough appears, He promises that your storehouses will overflow. Your barns will be filled and your table will not lack bread or wine. That's not prosperity hype. That's the word of the living God, a covenant that cannot fail. And now, some of you are standing at the edge of an unexpected blessing. A miracle is being written into your story, a check in the mail that you never anticipated, a canceled debt that was years overdue, a divine idea that ignites success, or a phone call that flips the page of your life. God doesn't run out of methods. He doesn't need a pattern. He has endless strategies and infinite resources. But the real question is, are you ready to receive? Are you expecting Him to move? Are you believing with bold faith? Because heaven responds where faith is alive. Miracles flow where obedience lives. Breakthroughs happen where surrender is real. This is the time to take your eyes off the mountain and fix them on the mountain mover. Stop rehearsing your shortage, start rehearsing His promises. Don't wait until the money shows up to praise. Worship now. Thank Him now. Rejoice before the breakthrough, because praise is the language of faith and gratitude is the door to abundance. Paul and Silas sang in prison and the chains fell off. Jehoshaphat sent worshippers ahead of the army and God scattered their enemies. And when you worship in the middle of your financial drought, you invite heaven to interrupt your reality. Some of you think your time has passed. You think you're too old, too broken, too far behind, but that's a lie from the pit of hell. If you're breathing, you're still chosen. If you're alive, God's not done. He is not consulting your past, He's constructing your future. Your financial breakthrough is about more than numbers in a bank account. It's about freedom from fear, release from bondage, and stepping into the abundant life Jesus died to give. This miracle isn't just for you, it's for your children, your grandchildren, your community. It's about breaking generational curses and planting generational blessings. You are not called to barely survive, you were born to thrive. You are not the tail, you are the head. You are not meant to live in debt. You are destined to lend and not borrow. Now is the moment. Rise in boldness, pray with audacity, give with faith, declare with conviction. My God shall supply all my needs, not some, not maybe, all, and that supply isn't coming from the economy, the government, or a lucky break, it's coming straight from His riches and glory. So position yourself, align your heart, open your hands, the heavens are opening. The rain of favor is about to fall. And now, the miracle is being released. You've waited in faith, you've endured in silence, and you've stood firm when it would have been easier to walk away. And by the Spirit of the living God, I declare without hesitation, this is your moment. The season has shifted. The windows of heaven are opening. What you've been praying for is no longer on the way, it's here. But make no mistake, this miracle is about far more than a financial breakthrough. It's about your identity in Christ. For too long, the enemy has whispered lies into your spirit telling you that lack is your destiny, that struggling is just your cross to bear, that you were born to barely get by. But today, we tear down that stronghold. Poverty is not your portion. Scarcity is not your inheritance. You are a child of the King, the same God who knit you together in your mother's womb, who knows every detail of your life, even the ones you've tried to hide. He has not destined you for defeat. He created you to walk in dominion, to be fruitful, to multiply, and to bring heaven's influence to earth. This is not about greed, it's about purpose. It's about lifting your head high and remembering who you belong to. When you understand your Father is the God who speaks galaxies into being, who stretches the stars across the sky like a curtain, who tells the oceans how far they may go, you stop thinking small. You stop settling for survival, because Psalm declares, no good thing will He withhold from those who walk uprightly. So ask yourself, is financial freedom a good thing? Is the ability to care for your family, support ministries, clothe the poor, fund God's work around the world, are these good things? Then the answer is clear. God is not holding back your blessing, He's preparing it. He is not slow, but strategic. He is not early, but always on time. What you call delay, He calls development. God is not just blessing you for the sake of it. He's building you to hold it. He's refining your heart, cleansing your motives, and solidifying your character, because heaven's treasure cannot rest in unclean hands. You can't carry the weight of financial glory with a mindset still bound by fear, insecurity, or entitlement. And so, He takes you through the process, not to punish, but to prepare, not to strip you down, but to strengthen you from within, because when this miracle comes, it must endure. It must bear fruit. It must point others back to Him. That's why your current job, though it may feel beneath you, is holy ground. That side hustle that seems like a waste of time, God sees it. Every late night, every sacrifice, every tithe that hurt to give, every act of faith no one applauded, He is watching. And He is looking for faithfulness in the little, because that is what unlocks favor without limit. Do you know what Deuteronomy 8:18 says? But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth. That power isn't born of hustle. It's not based on luck. It's not just about hard work. It is supernatural empowerment. It is divine insight. It's strategy that comes not from a business seminar, but from the throne room of heaven. It's favor that confounds logic. It's that moment when people look at you and ask, how did this happen? And all you can do is lift your hands and say, it was the Lord. Because when God blesses, He leaves His fingerprints on everything. The testimony will be undeniable. It won't be your brand, your resume, or your networking. It will be your God. And here's something that will stir your heart deeper. The miracle you're waiting for might already be within reach. Moses had nothing but a rod. David only had a sling. The widow in Zarephath had a jar of oil. The disciples had 5 loaves and 2 fish. And yet God used what they already had to release a supernatural miracle. You don't need to chase something new. You need to look again. Look at what's already in your hand: your talent, your story, your gift, your obedience. What you thought was insignificant may be the seed of your breakthrough. And now, listen closely, there is a miracle already surrounding you. You're standing in the presence of provision, but you may not have recognized it because you've been looking through the eyes of lack instead of the eyes of faith. You've been calling your gift a small, your idea not enough, your effort insignificant. But hear this, in the hands of God, nothing is small. That seed you're holding, that skill you keep overlooking, that idea you keep doubting, it's not random, it's divine. When you give it to God, He breathes on it, He multiplies it. He transforms it from a simple seed into an abundant harvest. But here's a truth we can't ignore: the release of the financial miracle is not just tied to your actions, it's tied to your words. Scripture says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So many believers abort their own blessings with the words they speak. You say things like, "I'll never get out of debt," or "Nothing ever works for me," or "I just can't seem to catch a break." And heaven grieves because angels respond to faith, not fear. But when you begin to declare, "I am blessed and highly favored," when you proclaim, "I am a lender and not a borrower," "My cup overflows, and my God shall supply all my needs," that's when heaven moves. That's when doors begin to swing wide. That's when what was once locked up begins to flow freely. Because faith speaks before it sees. Faith prophesies before it receives. Faith praises before it possesses. And now I must say this: many of you are on the brink of experiencing something rare, a divine wealth transfer. Yes, you heard that right. This is not fantasy or prosperity hype. This is biblical truth. Proverbs 13:20 declares, "The wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just." And this is the hour where God is realigning the resources of the world, transferring what was once hoarded by the wicked into the hands of the righteous. But this shift is not coming to consumers. It is coming to conduits, people who won't worship the wealth, but will wield it for God's kingdom. You see, money is not the goal, it's a tool. And God is raising up men and women who understand that every dollar is a soldier sent to advance His mission. He is placing wealth into the hands of those who will build churches, fund missions, care for the poor, and rewrite legacies. And let me be clear, when this miracle comes, do not apologize for it. Do not water down your testimony to make others comfortable. Do not shrink back into false humility. Stand boldly and declare, "Look what the Lord has done." Your increase is not a trophy, it's a testimony. Your abundance is not arrogance, it's a witness to the world of God's faithfulness. And don't let the religious spirit try to shame you into believing that prosperity is pride. No, you are not flaunting wealth, you are stewarding purpose. Even in the early church, they lacked nothing. In the book of Acts, they had all things in common. They gave freely, and God multiplied supernaturally. Paul wrote about churches that gave beyond their ability, who sowed while suffering yet reaped with songs of joy. This is our heritage, not scarcity, but supernatural supply. We are not called to be beggars, we are called to be builders, kingdom financiers. People who turn heavenly vision into earthly impact. And this, right here, is why the enemy fights your finances so viciously. He's terrified of what you'll build if you ever get free. He wants you bound by bills, distracted by debt, and too discouraged to dream. But today, that chain breaks. Today, that curse is reversed. Today, a wind of abundance is beginning to blow across your life. I see divine opportunities unfolding. I see contracts being signed. I see dormant dreams being resurrected. I see ideas that have been collecting dust finally taking flight. I see books being published. I see land being claimed. I see doors of favor opening that were previously bolted shut. I see resources flowing, ministries birthing, and generational poverty bowing its knee to the name of Jesus. I see God doing what only God can do. But let me be honest with you, with the blessing comes the battle. Don't expect the enemy to stay silent. He will rise, he will lie, he will accuse. But remember, he cannot stop what God has ordained. So stay ready, stay armored, stay in prayer, stay rooted in the Word. Don't let pride steal your promise. Don't let fear choke your seed. You've come too far to go back now. Stand in faith, stand in power. Stand because the miracle is not coming, it's already moving. It has your name on it. It is marked, sealed, and dispatched. And if you will believe, if you will speak what God has spoken, then you will witness the goodness of the Lord. Not just in heaven, but here, in the land of the living. He's not just preparing a place for you there, He's preparing a breakthrough for you right now. Right here, right now, heaven is touching earth. Can you sense it? The atmosphere is shifting. The oil of anointing is flowing. Angels are moving on assignment. The windows of heaven are swinging wide open. This isn't just a hopeful thought, it's a divine moment in motion, so don't stay silent. Shout with expectation, sing with anticipation, dance like the breakthrough already happened. Lift your hands high and boldly declare, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Chains of lack are shattering, mountains of debt are crumbling into dust. Limitations are being broken, fear is losing its grip. Why? Because your faith has moved the heart of God, your obedience has aligned heaven's will with your life. And now your mighty deliverer, your faithful provider, the God who never lies, he is finishing what he started. So get ready, truly, get ready. This financial miracle you've been believing for isn't some fantasy to inspire hope. It's a promise straight from the heart of God, and it has your name written on it. But hear this miracle isn't just about filling your bank account. It's about transforming your heart, because God doesn't bless so you can boast. He blesses to build your character, to enlarge your impact, to prepare you not just to receive but to reign. You were never meant to live under the weight of financial fear, constantly wondering how to make it. You were meant to walk in divine authority, seated in heavenly places with Christ, equipped to fulfill his purpose in the earth. Yet before the release comes, the vessel must be purified. God's miracle must never become your idol. The gift must never replace the giver. He doesn't want pride to rise with your increase. He doesn't want fear to guard what he gave freely. He wants your wealth to birth worship, not worry. And when God sees that you're holding his blessing with open hands and clinging only to him, that's when he knows you're ready for the overflow. Child of God, don't miss this. This moment isn't about money, it's about mission. The Spirit of God is hovering, searching for those who will say, "Lord, if you bless me, I'll build for you. If you increase me, I'll pour it out for others. If you make me a well, I will quench the thirst of the weary. If you enlarge my storehouse, I will become a supply line for nations." This is the hour of kingdom architects, those who will finance revival, not indulgence. You're not being blessed just so you can live comfortably. You're being blessed so that through you, God can move powerfully. Your prosperity is not about status, it's about strategy. And it's time we tear down the false doctrine that equates holiness with poverty and equates wealth with sin. Righteousness is not measured by what you have or don't have, it's measured by the posture of your heart. Don't forget, Abraham was wealthy, Isaac and Jacob were wealthy, David was wealthy, Solomon was extravagantly wealthy. Even Joseph of Arimathea, the man who offered his own tomb for Jesus, he was wealthy. The problem is never the presence of wealth, but whether wealth is possessing you. That's why this season of stretching, this wilderness journey, this financial struggle, it's not punishment, it's preparation. God is stripping away false dependencies. He's teaching you how to carry increase without compromise. He's forming in you the integrity required to steward what's coming. Because when the harvest arrives, it must bring glory, not grief. It must birth humility, not haughtiness. There is a shift happening. Heaven is releasing financial discernment. You're going to begin seeing with different eyes. The schemes of the enemy will no longer deceive you. Get-rich-quick traps will no longer entice you. You will no longer be fooled by shiny distractions. Instead, God is giving you divine wisdom, the kind that confounds the wise, that silences critics, that opens doors others didn't even see. As Proverbs 3:16 declares, wisdom brings long life in her right hand and riches and honor in her left, so cry out for it. Pursue it with urgency, because when God gives you wisdom, he gives you more than just money. He gives you strategy. He gives you vision. He gives you the ability to sustain what he's about to release. And some of you, you're standing on the edge of a divine setup and you don't even know it. It feels like everything's falling apart, bills piling up, opportunities drying up, doors slamming shut. But what the enemy can't see is that the hand of God is setting the stage for something miraculous. Just like Elijah on Mount Carmel, when the servant looked to the skies 6 times and saw nothing. But on the 7th time, he saw a cloud the size of a man's hand, and that was enough. That little cloud was the sign. And today, God is saying to you, get up, prepare, the rain is coming. There is a sound in the spirit. It's not the noise of defeat, not the silence of waiting, but the sound of abundance of rain. And I declare this now over your life, the rain is coming. It may not look like much yet. It might begin as a whisper, a small open door, a quiet phone call, an idea in the night, but that's your cloud. That little thing you almost dismissed, it's your confirmation. Just like Elijah's servant saw a cloud the size of a man's hand, so shall you see the sign of your breakthrough beginning. Because God doesn't need something massive to move mountains. He just needs your faith to say, that's enough for me to believe. And when you believe, the skies begin to swell with rain. The heavens begin to pour with favor. But never forget this crucial truth. obedience is the key that unlocks the overflow. When the widow met Elisha, he didn't give her a handout. He gave her an instruction: borrow vessels and not a few. And as long as she poured, the oil kept flowing. But the moment she stopped preparing, the miracle stopped multiplying. What does that tell us? That your miracle only flows to the level of your preparation if you're praying for a flood. Build a bigger barn if you're believing for increase. Make room for it now. Stop thinking small. Stop planning as if your God is limited by your salary or your savings. Expand your vision. Stretch your faith. Enlarge your tent. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes, because what's coming won't fit into your old mindset. God is about to break the limits off your life, but you must first break the limits off your thinking. Luke 6:38 tells us, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." But it doesn't start with God, it starts with you. Give what? Give praise even when the answer hasn't come. Give thanks even in the valley. Give sacrificially, even when you feel like you don't have enough. Because what leaves your hand in faith never leaves your life, it enters your future and returns as a harvest you couldn't have imagined. Every seed you planted in pain, every offering you gave in secret, every moment you chose to believe instead of complain, God saw it all, and He is not unjust to forget your labor of love. The season is shifting, the harvest is coming, and when it arrives, it will speak so loudly of God's glory that no one around you will be able to deny it. God is preparing a table for you, not in secret, but in the presence of those who doubted you. He's about to honor you publicly, so even your critics will have to say, "This is the Lord's doing." The blessing coming your way isn't going to sneak in through the back door. It's going to arrive in broad daylight with undeniable favor and holy boldness. And every lie the enemy whispered, shame, guilt, failure, will be silenced. You will not stand as one barely getting by. You will stand as a living testimony of what happens when someone puts their full trust in the Lord. And every year the enemy tried to steal every opportunity lost, every door closed, every moment you thought was wasted. God is going to restore, not just return, not just repair, but restore and overflow. Joel 2:25 says, "I will restore the years that the locust hath eaten." That means not just money, but time. Some of you have faced cycles of lost job loss, income loss, dreams slipping away. You thought, did I miss it? Was it all for nothing? But here's the truth. God is the redeemer of time. He can take the very years you thought were lost and compress them into a miracle moment that erases the pain and replaces it with purpose. He doesn't just bless your future, He redeems your past. He turns ashes into beauty, ruins into restoration, and what was once broken into something unshakable. And when He does it, it will be as if you never lost a day. That's the kind of God you serve. So don't stay bowed in despair. Rise up, dry your tears, let hope rise again. Speak the promises of God over your life. Walk through your home and declare that breakthrough is here. Anoint your bank account, your business ideas, your contracts, your resume, everything God has placed in your hands, because this isn't just about you receiving. This is about you carrying something for others. You're not just waiting for a breakthrough, you are being positioned to be the breakthrough for someone else. God is about to bless you so abundantly that you will be able to give beyond measure, to sow into lives, and to build what the world said couldn't be built. You've struggled long enough. You've wondered, does God see me? Let me assure you, beloved, He has, and your answer is already on the way. Yes, He did. He always has. And now, in this appointed hour, not a random moment, not a lucky break, but a divine appointment, God is about to do what no human effort could ever accomplish. He is about to release a financial miracle that won't just improve your situation, it will redefine your legacy. It will break generational curses, uproot cycles of lack, and plant seeds of abundance that will bloom for generations you haven't even met yet. This isn't just about making ends meet. It's about establishing a supernatural inheritance, the kind that opens doors long shut, rewrites family history, and proves once and for all that the blessing of the Lord adds no sorrow with it. So stand firm, beloved. This miracle is not wishful thinking. It's not fantasy. It's not hype. It is a divine certainty. And it's for those who believe. Yes, you, standing under an open heaven right now. The clouds have parted. The drought is over. The rain is coming. And not just any rain, but a harvest rain, a downpour of destiny, an outpouring of provision that will restore what was lost, replenish what was empty, and resurrect what looked dead. This is your moment, your invitation. Not just to believe for a miracle, but to walk with the miracle worker Himself. God is not calling you to be a spectator to His glory. He's calling you to partner with it, to move with Him, to build with Him, to rise with Him. Don't shrink back. Don't give ear to the voices of lack, of past failures, of unworthiness. Don't let the narrative of your pain overwrite the promise of your God. This is the time to stand in faith, plant your feet in His word, lift your voice, and declare with your whole being, Lord, I trust you. I surrender everything. I am ready. Let expectation burn like fire in your soul. Let praise erupt like thunder in your spirit. Let your worship become a war cry. Because the God you serve is not a silent spectator. He is an ever-present help, a storm-stilling Savior, a waymaker, a provider, and He's closer than your breath. And though the bills pile high, though the doors feel sealed, remember this: He holds every key. He walks on waves. He multiplies lack into overflow. He speaks, and even the winds obey. And now, in this very hour, He is speaking over your life. So go forward, not in fear, not in your own strength, but clothed in the armor of faith, walking in the authority of His promise. Let your every action echo trust. Let your words carry the weight of heaven. Let your daily decisions be soaked in prayer. Let every thought be guarded by truth. And when the enemy comes whispering, you're forgotten, you're too late, you're not enough, silence him with a shout of praise. My God is faithful. My Redeemer lives. My provider never sleeps. My miracle is moving now. I urge you, examine your heart. Tear down every idol of fear, greed, control, and pride. Make room for the King of glory. Clear the space of your soul so heaven can dwell fully in you. Because the greatest miracle is not just in what God gives, it's in who He makes you while giving it. Offer your whole self. Lay your plans, your possessions, your future on the altar, and watch what God builds with what you surrender. Watch how He turns your obedience into impact, your faith into favor, your worship into overflow. Let your story shake unbelief. Let your provision declare His power. Let your miracle speak His name. And when it comes, because it will come, don't forget. Don't forget the nights you cried, the prayers you whispered, the seeds you sowed, the moments you almost quit. Don't forget the hand that lifted you. Raise your hands higher, praise louder, and give it all back to the one who gave it first. Now walk boldly. This is your season. Stand tall on the promises. Speak the word with fire. Live like your miracle already arrived, because it has. And when the world tries to convince you your God is small, you look them in the eye and say, He is mighty, He is moving, and He has released a miracle that carries His name, displays His glory, and transforms everything it touches. This is your time. This is your miracle. Let faith arise. Let heaven rejoice. And let your life be the proof that God still provides.